Course, I've got a few videos coming out today, and the first one up is going to be a raid video. We are going to be talking strategy, ways that you can get more rewards, ways that you can improve what you're doing in the raid, some tips and tricks. Next up will be a U32 overview video for my U32 experience, the good, the bad, the what I'm doing in season 14 kind of thoughts. And then the last video is going to be going over all the news that we have, the blog, going over my Xcoin strategy, new events, what I'm going to be doing. I'm just going to hit it all. If you're ready, let's jump into it. Let's talk raid strategy. Right now, we have two different raids that came out last Thursday. We still figuring out how they work completely. Um, right now we're pushing 70%, and that seems to be holding us in the top 100 very easily. Um, which tells me that most people aren't. So I wanted to talk about it. We've got some weird things going on in the raid that we can discuss. We've also got things that are going on that I think can help people improve. So right now we are doing Omega. That's the similar to the Orcus raid that we used to have, the Orcus Omega. Um, we're sitting at 56%, and it flashes a higher number that no one cares about. It's broken. We think it's a display bug, but we really don't know. We also have another percent over here that says 50% explored. Now, this is where it gets weird, guys. We think it's broken. We think that it's not actually a display bug, that it's actually broken. Right now, when you look at the explored, you have 10, 20, 10, or 10, 40, and 70%. If your explored's below 40%, you'd have a lock still here, but your percent would probably be higher than 40 on the main screen. Same thing with the 70. When we hit 70% explored here, we are usually like on the low number 80 plus. So, and it doesn't unlock until you hit that 70% explored. Now, where it gets even more weird is you go into strategy and you'll see tier 3. You won't see tier 3 rewards. You'll see the alliance milestone percent completion in here from the previous day. I don't know if I have it because you can see it's just spamming our chat, so it doesn't know. It's confused. Um, but what's going on is we think right now that leaderboard points are not tied to um, leaderboard points, and rewards are separated right now. 70% leaderboard points is going off of the main screen number, this 56.99. We think that's where the leaderboard points are coming from, but we think the rewards are coming from this 50% over here. Now, this 50% number, we have figured out how it's functioning right now, and it is counting every single node in the raid. Every node counts. Every mini boss that's not supposed to count is counting. It all counts. So we've changed our strategy to accommodate that, because the rewards are so spread. Now, when you're looking at our strategy right now, if every node is equal, we are treating skill as very expensive. We are treating bio as very expensive. The bio nodes in here, and that's tech. Oops, I didn't mean to do any of this. Go away. Bio is very expensive. So we are doing less bio and less. So they're doing skill right now in this section. They only did one lane. We only did one lane. When they did bio, they did two lanes. We did that on purpose, because those nodes are so much more expensive to do than the rest of it. We are also skipping all of these bosses that are sticking out here that are just kind of confusing, just to make things easier for people, because we don't need them. We're just trying. We're shooting for a little over 70%. We've got a little wiggle room in case somebody has a bad day, to try to help out. So we're doing some of that kind of stuff. We also left some extra at the end in case we need to grab some more. But right now we are threading the needle between how much energy we get per day and how much energy we spend per day. I think right now to do our plan, where we have to spend 92 out of 96 accumulated energy from each raider in the strike team. That's a lot. That's way more than Orcus. Um, we're only accumulating an extra 4. But let me go back and kind of talk about that one a little bit too, because Rewards are so much different. You look at these rewards. If you're in the 40%, you're only getting 36 G19. Look at what 100% of Orcus used to be, just for some comparison. If you were, a lot of people were 100%ing Orcus, it's half. You're getting half of what you got in Orcus. So to be missing out on half your G19 income every day is brutal. It's too much. So 40%'s no good. Um, right now, 40% Omega is kind of just at the point where you don't want it. But that's where the other point comes in. Well, actually, a couple points. First one up is you can push. We've spent 50 cores as an alliance before for events. You know, things that we've done it for: snow globes, turkey store. We did that for extra that currency when it was G19s and Shadow King currency and Shadow King orbs. That was what, spending 50 for a person was not unreasonable. You got some currency to spend. It was really good. So spending 50 in a raid to double your resources seems kind of worth it, especially if you're on the cusp. If you're like at that 65% and you're raider, like, spend it, guys. Make it happen. Hit that 70%. Or here's the or: if you don't like doing that and you guys don't want to do that as an alliance, it's not being Omega right now. And you may not like hearing that, but Omega's rewards at 40% are just worse. Right now, you can do the regular Chaotic Storm, the non-Omega one where you can turn the nodes down, up and down, and they took the rewards out of the percentage brackets. You only have T4s at 70 and 100%, which are still really good, by the way. They're on the Omega also. An extra 10 T4s per day ends up being like 300 T4s in a month. That's an extra ability. That's awesome. But we've also got, I think I can show you it here. These are what you get for a difficulty 5, just one node. And there's 15 plus nodes in a lane. Like, there's 15 nodes plus the boss. There's 16 nodes to a lane with the way it's set up right now. Now you do have some sharing, but if we're struggling and there's certain members that are just not ready for sections or anything like that, or you're in that 40% range, where you're not ready to do the whole raid yet, but you've got some members that are. You can get more rewards for doing it this way than you can doing it the 40%. I mean, if you did 10 nodes right now, you get an extra 10 kg19s from. Actually, you get more than that. 10 nodes right now, it would give you 5,600 or 56,000 T4s, or sorry, G19. So that's worth it. I mean, that's a big increase. So I mean, 56,000 versus 39,000, that's worth it. That's a big jump, and if it's your half and half, the members that were getting the 40% reward are probably still getting the 40% reward. If the members that are higher are getting more, this is really good. So I think right now you do not want to be in the 40% Omega D5 category. You either want to be in this D5 category with the other raid, or you want to be in the Omega 70% category. Pick your poison, but right now they really discourage 40%, and that's just what it is. And the good news about this is when you do the skill section, you just turn it down. You can one-shot the node with the old team. You just take Peter B. Parker out and turn the node down. You do one node super easy and just do it that way. I mean, whatever you guys think's comfortable. But yeah, I mean, I think overall that's a better format. So this is just more rewards at a stubborn value. So it is what it is. Now we'll talk about nodes a little bit. My first section's Mystic. I do the regular Mystic team, which is just Night Stalkers. You can also do Night Stalkers plus Odin and Mephisto, which I'll show you my teams at the very end. The next section is Skill. I'm generally doing in-game Thanos, Cap Sam, and and Black Knight are the three big ones, and then I bring in two more big characters. I think I do Moondragon and one other. I'm not trying to do anything crazy here. I'm pulling the ability from Jean Grey so that she doesn't debuff my team on my Spider Society attack. And then I'm doing a couple more attacks because most of that raid is super slow. So Black Knight can do some extra damage. Thanos will eventually take a hit and AoE them all. That's just extra damage so that when I do my second hit, I can do it in two taps. I want to take damage on that team on purpose so that, but I don't want Jean to take a bunch of turns. But they don't last that long. So I do it, go in and hit maybe an ability on all my characters. I try to not let them die if I can avoid it. But then I hit lose battle, and then I take my Spider Society in. Hopefully at that point I've gotten Sasquatch low enough that I don't have to stand on him for 10 years. But I can go then attack Jean Grey, make her dead, and then once I've got Jean Grey dead, I kind of set auto and just start selecting the characters, selecting where I want people to attack, and I just let it go. I'm trying to do that so that I don't have to three tap like node 2. Three tapping node 2 is brutal. So if I can do that, that saves me an extra attack. My next section up is Mutant. I just sim with the Old Man Logan Extreme team, and then you can either do Mystic or Mutant. So you can sim with your Mystic team if your Mystic team's significantly bigger, which you probably is because you have Mephisto and Odin. So that can help. I highly recommend that. Bio is super easy. Bio, all you have to do is go in there with a sack team, let them do their first ability, and hit lose battle and leave. And then you go in with your Hive Mind Hive Mind Scroll, and the battle's super. It's just like the old Hive Mind nodes. They're super easy. They kind of just fall over. It seems like even small Hive Minds are still getting it done, so that's super good. The last section is Orcus. I've had 105 Orcus lose to sim. I'm not simming those nodes anymore. I don't want to lose the energy. It's super valuable to me, so I'm playing those nodes. You also have Mutant and Tech available at the end of this one, so you pick your poison there. It doesn't really matter. And then this last node, I use the Mystic team. I use Odin and Mephisto with the Mystic team. And I'll show you my teams just so you can see them all, where we're at. They're nothing crazy. Not that team. Here. So, Mutant team, it's at pretty good size. I've equipped Old Man Logan with his G19.5. I haven't done any of the other characters. I did take him to 105, with the exception of Sunspot. I just don't use him anywhere other than Raid, so he's just kind of sitting there. I think he's on War Defense right now. Hive, I've taken them all to 105, and it's not because of Raid. I've seen people still with G18 with Hive Minds getting it done. The reason I took them up is because Null and Hive Mind in War is so good. They are beating Mephisto teams. They've become a complete powerhouse on offense. So that's why I took them to 105. Spider Society, we are stuck with this team for a while longer, guys. I hate to tell you it, but we are. Vigilante, we get the first character in, I think, today, and then we're at least 8 days till the second character, and at least 8 more days until the third. So we are a month out until we even see all 3 characters released on a paid release. Now, you want to talk free to play? We're talking another month, because then they have their mini orb releases after their normal orb release, and then they start doing events for them. So we have at least 2 months probably until that team is even playable, if for most people. So I put G19.5 on my Spider Society. Those nodes suck. I want to try to 2-tap them as best I can, which is why I did what I did. I didn't put it on the rework for Gwen. I did put it on Noir, even though I didn't mean to. It was actually an accident, because it only gave a little bit of health and damage, but Noir does take like 5 turns, so it's not the end of the world. I just wish I didn't, but they're huge. They're all 105. They're all 3 diamonds with the exception of Noir. I'll probably buy Noir's diamond here soon because it's just is what it is. The better I did 2-tap it today, so that was better. We don't need to talk about the Alpha Flight team. They're not useful in this raid. Orcus, I have everyone at 105. I've equipped G19.5 on many of them, and I still have it losing Sim. So just a heads up, it's not good. And they're all 3 diamond, with the exception of Nimrod. So yeah, it's not good. Night Stalkers, This team seems to beat all of the Mystic sections with, and so you can use this team, or you can use the team down below. It works also. This is the team I use on the final boss of the raid. It seems to sim the final boss even with Agatha at 101. So there's that, and that's the team I use for the final boss of the Alpha Flight raid if you need that. Um, don't do whatever I've got going on here. We're just going to make that go away. Um, with the skill sack team, I generally take Thanos, Black Knight, and Cap Sam with Moondragon and one other big character. I'm just trying to use the big abilities that AoE people. I'm just trying to sustain a little bit. I don't want to sustain too long because I want to not pull. I don't want. Jean can reuse her ability if it gets all the way back to her, and it's hard to kill her. So I do not want to give her free turns against a bad team. That can wipe you or force you to back out, which is not good. If for whatever reason Jean did use her ability, just hit lose battle and come back in. Don't lose your team. Save your team. In most of these, you do not have to lose your team unless you hit Sim. So that's the great part about this raid is it doesn't really have a you lose. It has a you overspent your energy problem, which is great. I love it. I think this raid's in a great spot as far as the game goes. It's a little counterintuitive, but let's work through that and get the rewards. If you guys like this kind of stuff, thumbs up my videos. I like doing strategy stuff. You'll probably see a lot more of that here of me in the future. Um, Come thumbs up the video. Come like and subscribe. Come tell me in the comments what you think. Is this something you like seeing? Um, I will have some more videos this week. I want to talk about war. I want to talk about Crucible. I want to talk about just overall game strategy. I want to talk about events. We'll just do a little bit of everything. If there's certain things you like seeing more, let me know.